Good morning, guys. Today is the day we've been waiting for, which is IUI number 1. It's almost 10 o'clock in the morning, and Matt is already on his way to drop off his semen sample. And then 1 hour later, we're gonna go in to do the IUI. I don't think it'll take too long, but yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. So I'm just gonna wait for him to come back and then just wait. So I'm gonna wait for him to come back, and then by, what is it? 10:20? No, 10:40. What am I talking about? Around 10:40, we'll drive over to the clinic to get the IUI done. So I'll give you guys an update later. Do you have any thoughts, Matthew?
Fingers crossed. Should have brought my lucky rabbit's foot or something.
Do you have a Lucky's rabbit foot?
I know. Should have gone.
Alright, so we are on our way to the first of 2 IUIs. So let's see how it goes. Were you nervous?
No.
I was.
I know.
Tears
You
are
were nervous about.
rolling down my face. Here we are, waiting 15 minutes. Whew. And I'm just laying here. Legs up. You had how many sperms? 3.5 after they were washed. But how many to start
I
with?
don't know.
Yeah, after it was washed, it was 3.5.
Right, because it was higher before that. It was like
9.
Did they say that? I don't remember.
Matthew, what are your babies saying right now?
What?
What are your babies saying right now?
Probably think it's dark in there and they're lonely. You know, they're concerned that they don't hear the opening theme song from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia playing.
Why would that be it?
Because I watch that show all the time. They're probably used to it.
Oh my god, that's ridiculous. That's funny. That was stupid. Hello. We are back from the IUI appointment, and it took a lot longer than we had anticipated. Our appointment to drop off the sample was at 10, and the IUI was at 11. They didn't call us into the room until 11:30, and we got home at 12:30. It's only a 10-minute drive. So we were in there for a long time. Aside from the fact that, yes, it was, we were laid there for 15, or I laid there for 15 minutes, but it definitely took a lot longer to get us inside. So yeah, the whole process was, what is it? Like 2 hours. So the whole process was like 2 hours and 15 minutes, 2 hours. Oh, it was like over 2 hours. And yeah, it was crazy. They called us in, and I went to use the bathroom because I was like, man, it's been a while since I've gone pee. Let me just go pee. We went in, and probably like 5 minutes we were in the room before the doctor showed up with the nurse, and we had to verify that the name on the little tube was Matt's name. Make sure we put in the right specimens, or let's make sure we put in, they want to make sure they put in the right babies. I'm gonna call them babies. And from there, she had me verify all the information, and then they went over the sperm count, which I was kind of surprised how low it was, but he said it was still normal. Before the wash was, I want to say he said 9.9 million with 56% motility, and then after the wash there were 3.5 million with 88% motility. So I was surprised. And then the tube was inside the room before the doctor showed up, but Matt was like, oh, there's nothing inside. When they took out the tube from where it was sitting in, it was like this little bit of semen that was in there, and I was like, wow, like you could not see it from where like it was sitting in this little thing. It's like there's nothing in there. I don't know where it's at. So then they went and it's like, okay, let's do this. And he's like, oh, it's gonna, like, the beginning is gonna be like getting a pap smear, you know, you've had that done, right? And I'm like, yeah, and it's not fun. Like, who wants to get a pap smear done? Like, no one ever wants to get a pap smear done. It's not fun at all. And man, I was a nervous wreck. I was like, the tears were just like rolling down my face. Matt was standing right next to me. I was holding his hand, and then it actually took him a little bit longer than the doctor had anticipated. I guess he didn't look at my ultrasound beforehand and didn't realize that I had a inverted, or I don't know what I call it, inverted uterus or whatever. It's like backwards, which is still normal. It's still a normal thing. But he was like, oh, he was like trying to get it in, and he was like, oh man, it's not going, sorry. He was having trouble. He's like, oh, it's not going in. So it took him like a minute or two to figure out that he's like, oh wow, this is like, there's like a huge curve. But he's like, I got it. He told the nurse like, oh, try to get the ultrasound machine, and so we can see how it is. And but before they were even able to go get the ultrasound machine, or it was in the room, but before she was able to set it up, he was like, oh, I got it, I'm in. And that was it. Then from there, he was like, I guess we're gonna do this again tomorrow. And then left the room. The nurse was like, I'm gonna set you up for 15 minutes. She put a little timer on the table. I'm gonna put 15 minutes, and you know, no intercourse tonight, no working out, no, you know, don't go swimming, don't take baths, don't, pretty much like take a chill day, don't do much of like any activities. And then she said, again, we'll come in tomorrow, which I told Matt to come in way earlier just because it took so long today. I was like, oh, I got places to go, and he does too. So unfortunately, like, he's not gonna be there for tomorrow. He had already scheduled something early in the morning, and he's gonna be gone for like 5 hours tomorrow, which, you know, I was just like, just please be there for the first day. Like, that's all I need. Just at the very least be there. I understand you have your class, but no big deal. Yeah, so she said, so from 1 week from yesterday's appointment, I'm going to do a progesterone labs. Depending on it, if it's too low, then I guess they'll give me some capsules. I don't know. She said they'll give me something if it's low, and if not, like, we keep it pushing, we keep it going. Then 2 weeks from yesterday's appointment, I go in to do a pregnancy test, which is, again, labs. And that was pretty much it. She gave me what did she give me? So she gave me the paperwork to do the labs next week and the following week. And she said for next week's labs to make sure to call the nurse and let her know that I already got the labs done for the progesterone. So she knows to keep an eye out for it. And then, yeah, then in 2 weeks from yesterday, so technically in 13 days, we will find out if this worked. And we are back for day 2. Wait. I'm on my way for the second IUI this month. Like I said, or I think I said, they're doing 2 IUIs back to back in 1 month, or 1 cycle, and I'm on my way now for the second one. But this time around, unfortunately, I'm going by myself because Matt has a 5-hour class that he is going to at the same time that I have my IUI. But the other thing, Matt dropped off his sample about 10 minutes early, and they told him to tell me to show up 30 minutes early because the couple that was doing the IUI before us didn't show up. It's like, oh, so we can get her in earlier. So I was like, perfect. So Matt dropped off his sample earlier, So they're getting that process started, so they're not busy with anyone else or anyone else's sample. So we are ready. Hopefully today I don't have like a breakdown like I did yesterday. I was pretty much crying because I was so nervous the second like he started. The tears were just like rolling down my face. So hopefully today, you know, I'm gonna put my big girl pants on and not cry or not get so emotional and nervous. I think that's really what it was. I was like really, really nervous. And yeah, so cross my fingers. And the other, you know, I'm like yelling here. And the other thing, I'm hoping that Matt's semen sample, the results come up higher than yesterday's. I don't know how that works with back-to-back. I don't know if today would be lower because he, you know, did it yesterday. I don't know how that works. But yeah, hopefully today it's better results. But we'll see. I'll find out in like maybe half an hour. So I'll be right back. They are ready for me really early. I got here like 9 minutes ago and I'm ready for this. So hoping I'm not freaking out. Crossing my fingers. We are ready. Yeah. Baby swim. We need you to swim. Baby swim. I should play the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia theme song so I can swim. But yeah. So I'm just laying here now. The nurse was the one that did the IUI and she was so sweet. But I'll tell you guys later how she was. I'm just gonna show you I am back. Sitting down. Cross my fingers. We're getting pregnant this month. Yay. 2 babies, 2 babies, 2 babies. And I'm back. That one was easy peasy lemon squeezy. I wish that yesterday's appointment was just like that. The difference between yesterday and today was that it was not my doctor who did the IUI because it's the weekend. It was a registered nurse. So the RN was the one that did it, and she was so nice that I texted Matt and I was like, oh man, like I wish it was my doctor. She was so sweet. And let me backpedal or go back to what happened earlier. Yesterday, because the doctor had trouble getting into my uterus, he didn't realize, or I guess he didn't look at his whatever he needs to look at. I have a retroverted uterus and he was having trouble getting in, so he was kind of like poking and, you know, having trouble, and it was not fun for me. Oh, there's a gas station. So he finally got it in, and again, it took him a while because he couldn't get in. Well, yesterday, a few hours after the IUI, I started to notice that, and this is TMI, there was not blood, but it was like old blood. Look, it looked kind of like old blood. And again this morning. So as soon as the nurse went to start the IUI, she was like, oh, this guy almost got into an accident. Jesus. So as soon as the nurse was gonna start the IUI, she was like, oh, were you bleeding? I see there's what looks like old blood. And so I told her what happened. And she was like, oh, that happened because, and I explained to her he was having trouble yesterday. She's like, oh, it looks like he may have scraped you when he was trying to find your uterus. Be right back. So she was like, oh, that's not a big deal. Like, we're good. She literally put the speculum in, and I didn't even feel when she put in the catheter. And it was like, whoop, right in, not an issue. And I was like, wow, that was super fast. That was so fast. That was amazing. She did not make me feel uncomfortable. Yesterday the doctor kept like opening my legs and like, it's like keep opening them. I'm like, hello, they're already open. You already got what you need. But today the nurse was like, oh, not a big deal. That's super easy. The other thing I forgot to mention was the sperm count today. The sperm count today started off at 14.4 million little swimmers. With 54% motility. After it was washed, there was only 2.2 million sperm with 94% motility, which is great. She was like, yeah, it is low. Ideally, we want it to be above 5. But she's like, it wouldn't be a concern if it was below 1 million. So she was like, don't worry about it. You know, I asked her, like, what's the success rate? And she was like, well, it depends on, like, what you guys were diagnosed with. And I'm like, unexplained. She's like, you're still young. She didn't tell me what the success rate would be. But she did say, like, look, you guys are still young. You obviously have sperm. It's still good. She's like, don't worry about it. She just confirmed, like, make sure I get my progesterone, the lab's done for the, is it progesterone levels? I don't even know anymore. And, which I already made the appointment. As I was waiting here laying there for 15 minutes yesterday, I made the appointments for the labs for the progesterone and the pregnancy test a week later. So she was like, yeah, you know, as long as you have that all set, we're good. And that's it. And now it's the 2-week waiting period, which, you know, I know a lot of people don't like, but I think I'll be fine. And yeah, I'll keep you guys updated. Until then, as always, wish us luck. Bye, guys.